Old Trafford is no longer the theater of dreams. These days, it feels more like a stage for anxiety and chaos that refuses to end. From the touchline, Ruben Amorim's eyes betray a deep, gnawing worry. On the pitch, his players look disjointed, stripped of fight and devoid of a clear plan. Manchester United are sinking, not just in form, but in identity and spirit. The board's early promises of a grand rebuild now ring hollow, and the patience of supporters has been stretched to its breaking point. Nothing captures United's psychological fragility more starkly than the actions of their manager. When Bruno Fernandes stepped up to take a penalty in the defeat to Brentford, Amorim turned his head away. It wasn't just a personal quirk, it became a symbol of the mental collapse spreading through the squad. That avoidance wasn't the calm confidence of a coach entrusting his captain. It was panic in its purest form, a visceral fear of what failure in that moment might unleash on a fragile team already teetering. And this wasn't an isolated scene. In the narrow 3-2 win over Burnley, and even more damningly in the humiliating Carabao Cup exit to League Two side Grimsby Town, Amorim repeated the same gestures, looking away, slumping back with his feet on the chair, whispering silent prayers during key moments. Each time the message was the same. The man meant to steady the ship was instead transmitting his own turbulence. His anxiety seeped onto the pitch, turning pivotal moments into unbearable burdens for the players expected to deliver. The backlash from fans is no longer just about results. It's about leadership, or the lack of it. A top manager must be a wall of steel, projecting calm, resilience, and belief when the storm rages loudest. Instead, Amorim's visible unease has shattered that illusion of security, leaving his players exposed and his authority questioned. He seems trapped in a tug-of-war between maintaining an outward image of control and wrestling with inner despair. And that fracture is now bleeding into the dressing room itself. If Ruben Amorim is the face of unease on the touchline, then Bruno Fernandes has become the symbol of decline and instability on the pitch. The Manchester United captain now finds himself at the toughest crossroads of his career, criticized not only for his fading influence with the ball, but also for his increasingly questioned leadership. On the footballing side, Bruno has gone from being United's creative heartbeat, the link between the lines, the orchestrator, to looking lost and ineffective. Amorim's decision to continually play him out of position has stripped him of the spaces where he used to thrive. Instead of dictating tempo, he drifts aimlessly, presses half-heartedly, and shies away from duels. Too often, he pushes forward recklessly, leaving gaping holes between midfield and defense that opponents ruthlessly exploit. His 17 turnovers in the loss to Brentford, along with the career-low passing accuracy, paint the starkest picture yet of a player in steep decline. Bruno, once the spark, is now beginning to look like a tactical liability. And then there's the question of leadership. A captain is meant to inspire, to command respect, to be the emotional anchor when the pressure mounts. Bruno has failed to be that figure. He doesn't control the rhythm of games, nor can he rally his teammates in moments of adversity. Pundits and fans alike have noted his lack of authority, with former player Gabriel Agbonlahor even contrasting him unfavorably with Harry Maguire's more vocal, fiery style of captaincy. United look like a team crying out for a true warrior leader, someone who can drag them forward through sheer force of will. Instead, they have a captain who has missed 2 of his last 3 penalties, adding further doubts about his ability to handle pressure. Right now, the captain's armband on Bruno Fernandes feels less like a badge of honor and more like a curse. It weighs heavy, not just as a symbol of his own dwindling energy, but as a damning reflection of United's failure to find a true leader in the post-Ferguson era. Andre Onana's lone departure initially brought a sigh of relief. Many believed Manchester United had finally rid themselves of the liability whose personal mistakes had so often spiraled into systemic disasters. But that sense of relief has quickly given way to bitter disappointment with his replacement, Altay Bayındır. United have merely swapped one man's calamities for collective mediocrity. The numbers don't lie. 6 Premier League starts, 11 goals conceded, and not a single clean sheet. That's not a platform. It's a collapse waiting to happen. Yes, Bayındır has made 13 saves, but none of them have carried the game-changing weight you expect from a true number one. He plays with the reliability of a backup, not the authority of the man between the posts at one of the world's biggest clubs. He feels like a patchwork keeper, lacking command, lacking presence, and unable to command the respect that could settle his backline. Meanwhile, Sene Lamens, billed as a strategic investment, a modern goalkeeper with the ability to play out from the back, sits silently on the bench, waiting for a chance that never comes. His existence feels less like a solution and more like a mirage, a name carried on the roster to give the illusion of depth. When, if ever, will Old Trafford actually see him play? And even if that day comes, are United really ready to gamble on an untested goalkeeper in the unforgiving cauldron of the Premier League? It's a dangerous question, one the board seems unwilling or unable to answer. Right now, the club is caught in limbo. Either Bayındır finds the breakthrough needed to shed the stopgap label, or United must accept the harsh truth. Their goalkeeping position remains an unsolved problem. Manchester United's failures aren't just costing them matches, they're leaving scars on both the financial and transfer markets. Every defeat sees the club's share price dip, chipping away at its value on the stock exchange. But the damage cuts even deeper in the dressing room. United fought tooth and nail to sign players like Cunha, Mbeumo, and Sesko, convincing them to join even without European football. They arrived at Old Trafford with dreams of liftoff, but instead they've regressed, performing below the levels they showed at their former clubs. Doubt is creeping in. Did they make the wrong move? For Mbeumo, returning to Brentford only to watch his replacement, Igor Thiago, shine must have been a bitter pill to swallow. And that sense of regret could be spreading. United risk becoming nothing more than a temporary stopover, a place players pass through before chasing real titles and career breakthroughs elsewhere. History offers plenty of warnings. Time and again, players have left Old Trafford only to thrive away. Lukaku, McTominay, Sancho, even Anthony and Rashford, now flourishing at Real Betis and Barcelona. If these new signings can't turn pain into motivation and instead start plotting their escape from a sinking ship, it would mark a devastating reality for fans. The loyalty that once defined United, embodied by legends like Sir Bobby Charlton, Paul Scholes, and Ryan Giggs, now feels almost entirely eroded. Even Ruben Amorim's future hangs by a thread. Yes, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has promised a long-term project, but as the defeats pile up, no shareholder or supporter will tolerate endless excuses. And if the manager's future is uncertain, how can the players believe in long-term commitment? Can anyone really blame them if they decide leaving is the only way to save their careers? In the end, Manchester United are trapped in a vicious cycle of crisis, built on a nervous coach, a collapsing captain, weakness in goal, and new signings already losing faith. There are no signs of a turnaround on the horizon. Old Trafford is waiting for radical change, not just in tactics, but in mentality, leadership, and the very way the club is run.